Vodafone are the main sponsors of the Irish rugby team, and we have some exciting news.
Yes, Tommy boy, drum roll please. The Offload is delighted to be joining the team of us.
Vodafone is, of course, about bringing fans closer than ever to the team, building the most connected fan rugby base around.
Yes, Vodafone has powered some of Irish rugby's greatest moments, from winning championships to creating history in New Zealand and South Africa. And who will ever forget winning the Grand Slam in Twickenham on St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, we were there for it. It was cold, but bloody hell, it was good. The team of us is about building the most interconnected team and fan base on the planet.
Vodafone, main sponsors of Irish rugby and the Offload podcast. Go on, the team of us.
Donncha, right? He's got the green. He's ready for going, boy. When are you're on the way to London?
Yes, I'm heading over in a while, Tommy. Yeah, look, travelling in on Friday, over there for Saturday and back Sunday. A bit like everyone that's Irish at the moment. It's the time to be heading to England, isn't it? Between Cheltenham and the next few weeks. So, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Normally this match is on around Cheltenham. You know, you normally have Cheltenham, Paddy's Day, Twickenham. It's like a day for the Irish to go over and just clean sweep.
Exactly.
Over there.
You've nailed it. And do you know what? I know they're all about this kind of, what do they call it? They have a word for it, the fallow week. Isn't that the English journalists love using the fallow week? Oh, we had the fallow week in so the lads could recover and then go bananas again for Cheltenham. And you've taken it out, lads. So I actually think that should be the team talk, Tommy, on Saturday. You know what I mean? Irish people for years went over here and went bananas, and they've taken it away from us.
So is that why this has happened? Is that because there used to be 2 gap weeks in the middle of Six Nations? Now it's just down to 1. They've obviously had the 3 here. Yeah, okay, right. So the fucking English and their fallow week. Right.
Yes. Or is it that TV's kind of come in a little bit as well in terms of the kind of games around Paddy's weekend, or maybe it falls late. It's hard to get it.
I have to say, for the supporters, it's brilliant. For people watching, like for sponsors, everything is brilliant to only have 1 week in the middle. It's just the players that they're the only ones who are really missing out on an extra week's break. But for everybody else, it just keeps the intensity going. 3 weeks in a row. I love it. I like it.
I don't agree. I thought it was right. It keep to the last format. It was spot on.
No,
you had the break.
why?
And then, no, hold on. Imagine how much mileage we would have got out of the last while just chatting about the 10 selection or chatting about selection to hooker, who's going here, will they go that? Hey, why? We're trying to speed everything up, man. It's just leave it as it is. It was perfect. And just because, the fallow weeks, you know what I mean? And not only that, like, genuinely tie in with the horse racing, right? Say, you're having the Gold Cup that Friday. We'd love to be over in England so that people can head up from Cheltenham and head to Twickenham after the match, and it's going to be like an Irish takeover like it always was. Stop messing with the magic.
There must be a parent like Pothole Paul Bowe in that Irish team at the minute, and there's one player is delighted that there's no Cheltenham on the week of the England match because you don't have some fucking pothole like your man coming in with like half a winner, probably not won anything, but in his full tweed suit lands into the team hotel asking where's the tickets. I'll never forget. I've never wanted to kill my dad more.
I'm surprised he hadn't got AP McCoy with him, or one of our great.
He was holding
and he comes
fort
with
in
Nina
the team
Carberry.
hotel. He was literally holding fort in the pub. And I remember Shane Jennings, I think it was Shane Jennings, going to go, here, you may go out, your dad's out there. He's looking for tickets and he's entertaining the whole squad.
You love it. Honestly, Tommy, if you were as much crack as your old flow, we'd be away. Paul Bowe, what a hero. And I've told this story before, but I used to love that the girls kind of always thought he was quite hot, and there was the song going around about Daddy, Daddy Bowe, Daddy Bowe.
He's gonna hear this back now, and he's gonna be delighted with himself. Explain to people the pothole. Why pothole Paul? Because for people who aren't aware.
Yeah, it just became a bit of a language to help each other out, that we would say a pothole was for avoiding. I'm sure other former teammates of mine have explained it in other things over the past, but we would tip each other off. So you'd kind of basically, Tommy's going into it and you'd say, Tommy, very careful, the left-hand side of the room as you go in, there's a serious pothole, avoid that at all costs. But then, to be fair, your dad got nicknamed after a while, Pothole Paul or whatever it was, to be avoided. No chance. The best crack ever.
So if you're driving the car, you see a pothole, what do? Avoid it. Well, there you go. If you see my old man, same. Listen, rugby, we need to discuss 5 changes to the Irish team. Obviously, Jack Crowley is in. That's a lot of talk about that. Only Caelan Doris is the only person who survived from that middle 5, the back row, and 9 and 10 from the Italy match. That's quite interesting. We'll go into that as well. Frawley onto the bench. We obviously have to talk about Pollock.
No,
Pollock
stop.
is going to be starting. No,
it needs. Frawley needs a breath, man. Frawley needs a breath. I think we should all genuflect. We should all say, well done. That's a special one. Kieran Frawley, well done, boy. What Lee Roadies to stay in the fight. I hope, man. That is it. Let it be on Frawley and let him win it for us.
Yeah, well, listen, he's got pedigree, doesn't he? Speaking of pedigree, I have a story for you, right? Normally, you're the one who comes up with these stories, right? Wait till you hear this. Woman arrested in Las Vegas airport for abandoning her puppy because they wouldn't let her take it on the flight. Right? So a cold-hearted woman, right, was arrested for allegedly dumping her puppy inside the airport terminal. So she went to go board the flight with the dog. You can kind of see you can do that in over in America on the internal flights.
You can do anything in America with animals, don't they? They all have these kind of like, that's my pet rabbit that I need for anxiety for traveling. You get away with that. You can have a pet lamb on the plane in America.
Well, I gather you can't have a 2-year-old golden doodle, cockapoodle, or whatever the fuck you call it. Excuse my language. Earlier this month, anyway, she turned up with their 2-year-old dog. Beautiful dog as well. I mean, it's look at this. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's a stunning. Tommy, you look like that dog. What a good looking dog.
Beautiful dog. Anyway, it's got little like harness around the chest, whatever else. There's a video clip of her walking up and giving the hand to say no. So she then went back, tied it up on the lead to like a pole, and then just walked straight on through departures. And eventually was about to board her flight, and the cops caught up with her and arrested her. Right, but then this is the thing, right? So she got arrested, and I'm trying to find it here.
Hold on.
10 days. God, the dog spent 10 days in animal rescue.
How long?
10 days. 10 days. And then the owner didn't come back and collect her again. So she had to be off and be rescued, and has now got a new family. There you have it. Boom.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, but what was she arrested for? It is illegal to leave your dog. Is it like, because I'll be honest, I get a stroke of the guilt with if I have to tie Shadow up outside the shop, you know, when you need to leg it in and get the paper or milk.
I've done that, yeah.
And you're there like, and then you're wondering, could you actually say to someone, can I go, here, sorry, I just have to get milk there, will you hold the lead for 2 minutes? That's actually a good prank, isn't it? Imagine hold the lead and how long will they hold the lead?
But I do worry with that someone's going to rob your dog, because you know you hear about these things that people love to rob a dog. But anyway, she was charged with animal abandonment and resisted arrest, authorities said.
It's so sad. God love you. Yeah, I think she'll be judged by a higher power in time, and like it's awful.
What a beautiful dog.
Honestly, Tommy, find out the name of that dog. You're the bulb off him. Yeah. You really look like that dog. You look like that dog. Yeah.
I am trying to grow a bit of a beard, but a golden doodle.
A golden doodle is exactly you. Whoa, how cold of her in ways. Now, you never know what's going on, though. Like, she should, like, sometimes... Like they would
maybe she had an emergency she needed to get back for.
Imagine actually having... Yeah.
Well, what do you say to someone? Will you take my dog? No. Like, what do you actually do? Do you know, if she was in a real emergency to get to somewhere and you've
But
no
that,
other alternatives?
do you know what? It actually bangs home to me at the moment. No one's sound anymore. You know what I mean? Like, imagine actually imagine being in the airport and saying, listen, I have to get on this flight. They won't let me take the dog. Could you mind him for 10 days?
Yeah.
Like, people don't even leave you out on the road anymore. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's
I
no
know.
chance someone's taking them for you.
There must be some kind-hearted people out there that probably would, but yeah, you'd kind of wonder. Anyway, it's a beautiful dog, and yeah, you're kind of right. But I don't know, like, there's that trust. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker nowadays?
No, but I remember Frankie Sheehan and Ronan O'Gara used to do it all
Sound.
the time.
Did
If
they?
if I was sitting in the back of the car, we used to carpool on the way up to Limerick. And for the crack, if someone was hitching a lift, the two boys, if I was in the back, would pick up the fella Tubman, right? He's put him in the back, kind of turn up the music in the front, and then lean towards and start having their own chat. So I'd be in the back, kind of going, "Where are you off to? Yeah." Buttervent, is it? Oh yeah, fair enough. You calling in O'Neill's? And just end up having these odd conversations with people tumming. Oh, good crack, good fun.
I love the awkwardness of it.
But
I know,
do you
it's
know
so
what? I think you've hit a point, and maybe we could kind of change the world, Tommy. Here's a thing for us. Just, you know, the what is it? Random acts of kindness, small
Yeah.
little moments.
Yeah.
Just genuinely, someone's listening in the car now on the way into work, and there's someone trying to get out. Just being someone giving them a flash to leave them out and go left, and automatically the world's a better place.
Yeah, yeah, and on top, and even one better. If you see someone thumbing a lift, stop off and take them. I hope this person doesn't turn out to be a murderer. Or like, this could really come back to bite us here.
Put him in the back with your pothole teammate. That's what the two lads did. Fair play, Frankie and Raj. Love you to bits over it. Yeah. Wild.
Here, quickly, just because I know you're a big U2 fan. I presume you haven't listened to the new album.
Not yet, but I'm excited about it. That's why I'm representing today. This t-shirt always reminds me of Sinead O'Connor, yeah, our Irish princess. And I just thought with the week that's coming into it, yeah, not a bad one to be in. But I saw that U2 have dropped new music and can't wait. Excited about it, of course. But I also love how they do things, man. So we had Brendan Fanning on chatting about his book. And do you know who 2FM always give the official like news of new music to? Dave Fanning, his brother, who'd be like,
just a heads up.
He basically announces new music by U2. He always tend to do it on his shows, and now I saw mine with Tracy Clifford announcing. So it's mad. Like when you see Dave Fanning kind of goes, I need to. It's a direct
big
line,
announcement.
Like,
I mean,
I need
literally,
to chat to the nation.
Yeah, like that's cool to say. But like, this is the thing. They dropped it and nobody knew about it. And listen, it seems to be getting pretty rave reviews. I listened to a couple of songs, The Edge, some of the music's class. So good on them as well. Do you know what I noticed is that as well? So Dave Fanning gets the insights. How does Jerry Thornley know the team all the time? Like he nailed it again.
Yeah. Do you know what? It'd
like
be really
5 changes. Like, you know, does he have binoculars? Does he get a heads up? Like how did he? But I remember being at a camp and Joe Schmidt losing his mind because the squad used to get leaked. It was during the World Cup and when we were over in England. And like he was losing his mind because he'd named the squad early in the week, but obviously be like, listen, this is kept between us.
Yeah.
We want to win the match at the weekend, so we don't want to give the opposition the scoop on who's going to be playing, so we don't tell. And obviously in a World Cup, it's different maybe because it's 32 lads and they're all very competitive and pissed off you miss out on it.
Yeah.
And they're obviously chatting to their agent or chatting to their parents, but it always seemed to get out. And again, it's still like, to me, it's wild. I'd love to know the ways and means that they find out who it is.
There's 2 things on it. One, it genuinely is a competitive advantage if you know the team, isn't it? Like I was really surprised with England naming theirs on Tuesday. And maybe
it was because it got leaked. It's happened before. That's Borthwick has come out and said he's having to name it early because the team has been leaked anyway.
Do you know one used to annoy me with Munster? We would be the same. People were getting frustrated that the team was getting out there, but where we trained in UL, right, is on in the bowl, like on, like. Do you know what I mean?
Outside the sports complex.
How many students are walking through the place and they're like, geez, they're going with Tomás O'Leary over Peter Stringer. And they were like, how is this leaking? And you're there, maybe the 5,000 students that are attending it from every corner of the country.
Do you remember though coaches used to lose their mind? Like Eddie had security men going in. Like I remember the day.
U2's bouncers. That's who that was.
There's your dog going mad.
Yeah.
Wasn't U2's bouncers? Like,
That's
do you remember? So Ireland will be doing a captain's run today, Friday. Against. We'll be doing a captain's run in Twickenham. And like the coaches will be like scouring the boxes and stuff just to make sure that the opposition aren't able to scope out what the team is.
Yeah. Sorry, Shadow's coming in for a bit of a chat.
Okay.
No, he's enough
for people who are listening who can't hear, don't worry. Hi, Shadow.
The worst one we had of that was, do you know the back pitch? It's Shadow gives a break, man, will you? He wants to be brought to the airport. Is there any chance I'd lose you, Dunners? Shannon's pitch, or is that UL's pitch? Both of them shared on the back of Thomond Park. I'm leaving him out. Give me 2 seconds. You keep us going.
Right, no worries. Okay, right. Well, anyway, I remember when we go to play away from home, and particularly like a World Cup, Eddie O'Sullivan and the coaches would have people with binoculars scouting out in the Stade de France, or would have people scouting out, and then they'd be sent up to boxes and there'd be poor people just cleaning out the place, and they'd be quizzed to know like, who are you? And like, are you like reporting back, who's this player, trying to quiz them to see if they're like the team nutritionist or whatever else who's actually scoping out the team. So
but we'd be on the back pitch in Thomond, right? And right beside it is the Garda station. So that looks out over the back pitch. And we were doing lineouts there one time, and a few of the guards were looking out the window, and Brian Hickey had a meltdown. He was there like, who are they? We need to get rid of them. And you were like, they're guards. There's no getting rid of them. You know what I mean? They're getting rid of us, lads. And he was there, we don't know who they are. I was there, we probably do. They're our finest. Just the paranoia to take on the guards.
Well, it's the paranoia, big time. Yeah. I'd say Andy Farrell, I'd say it really wrecks your head whenever, like, you try to make these selections, try to keep them as quiet as you can, and it just seems to always get out.
But just give real insight to what used to happen for us. Mervyn Murphy used to do a brilliant job on Friday when you'd come back from the captain's run of going through the individuals and giving you all the cues. So like Tommy Bowe, left arm carry, right foot step, has a left foot step, he's got the whole, or you know what I mean, we'll just talk. And this is all language you would hear used on the pitch to kind of go through it because the team was so tight. But could you imagine if you gave Merv a Tuesday lead on stuff like that? He could tell you what he had for his birthday, man.
Well, big time. Say, for instance, Ollie Lawrence is coming in at 13 and Freeman's gone to the wing. Like, if England were able to keep that to the Thursday, Friday, all of a sudden, Ireland, Monday and Tuesday, a lot of their tactics of trying to attack 13 and trying to attack Tommy Freeman, who's normally a winger playing at 13, seems a little bit out of place. All that goes out the window whenever the team is leaked a little bit earlier. So anyway, because there are a couple of changes. Pollock is starting, Tom Curry, like England are going to be, they're coming back wounded animal. And I think with the likes of Pollock getting his first start, young player, have the crowd all on his back, he'll be given it the big one. Tom Curry in terms of the aggression that he brings, and of course Ollie Lawrence, that bit more experience at 13.
There's some fascinating battles within it. I would love to see the chat that Andy Farrell could have with Josh van der Fleer about going up against Curry. Imagine that. I picked him for the Lions at that point, you know what I mean? Because I thought he can do all these things a little bit better for me in that point.
Ahead of you, yeah.
Yeah, go out and show me. Go out and show me I was wrong. Go out. I think like that honestly, that battle at the breakdown at every part of it could be blockbuster.
That's true. That's a hell of a battle between those two. Jesus, because Josh has a point to prove there, doesn't he?
And I know there was a lot of Irish Lions, but I think there's ones you could poke the bear a little bit with, like James Ryan, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
Even Joe McCarthy. You know what I mean? Joe, I know you were injured, man, but like there's the ultimate line, Marrow. You know what I mean? Could you show us, man? Show us that you're capable, that you can compete, that if you weren't carrying a knock, that you were my pick, you know?
Big time. And now, like, listen, England, very same as well. A lot of players who were thereabouts, very close, didn't quite get the nod. Right, let's talk Ireland team here, though, because Furlong in, Tadhg Byrne is in, Josh van der Fleer is in, Gibson Park is in, and Crowley is in. Byrne at 6, van der Fleer at 7. Like, I think it's probably the most experienced team we can have. Probably as good a pack as we can get, really.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
maybe you would say Jeremy Loughman, obviously with Porter back in, that would be a direct replacement. But apart from that, that's pretty much full strength pack for Ireland.
Agreed. And for me, in what you named there in that back row, like I think Jack Conan is one of our greatest back rows. But just for balance, you know what I mean?
It just doesn't work. Doesn't seem to work.
It doesn't work.
Him and Doris, the back row,
we lost Doris last week to the graft of a 7. You know what I mean? And like that's the beauty of Josh. You can just lose him to the work. Sometimes if he's motoring well, like a bit like Tom Curry, it can look like there's 2 of them out there with the workload they get through. I think it's got better balance to that back row. But then there's tough calls in it. Like how? Geez, wouldn't you hate to be a coach? Like, imagine sitting down with Cormac Izuchuku this weekend and saying, I've nothing for you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he'd be heartbroken, but he's young. Like, do you know this? He came on, I thought he was excellent.
He was brilliant.
But to not make the bench, like a surprise. But I kind of think once Byrne is at 6, there's no argument. You know, you don't need an Izuchuku really on the bench. Well, do you know what I'm most surprised is that they've gone the 5-3 split. And that makes me think that there's an injury in the back line.
Something's definitely
Tommy O'Brien is obviously brought there because either we saw Ringrose pick up a knock towards the end of that game. Maybe he's not 100%. And that's what I'm maybe thinking. And what I would love to see, right? I would love to see Crowley at 10, Frawley at 13, Frawley at 12, McCluskey at 13. And be able to switch it up, obviously, maybe in defence, that Frawley can go 13 in defence, but and McCluskey then go. But like you would have to expect, McCluskey's going to be going down George Ford's channel all the time, and to have a second playmaker out the back, to either behind 12 to 10 to Crowley, then behind like a 13 or a 15 to Frawley. I just think having a second ball player out there would be fantastic. So I'd be just interested to see if there's an injury there, and that's why they've had to put an extra back into the backline, because it's not the way things have been going recently.
No, I found it odd as well, the breakdown of the bench, a kind of 5-3, especially with Frawley, because he's a bit of you could play him everywhere. Yeah, which so it does. I kind of was there. That's a little bit odd. I know people will say you're light in the second row, that you could put someone like Tadhg in there if you were caught. To be fair, you could put someone like Jack in there as well if you needed to be. And look, they'll run everything kind of this week. But yeah, I found it an interesting selection, because I agree with you there about that second playmaker. If you look at what Scotland did to England, it's okay. Can I try to explain this in my head just to try to work it out?
Jesus.
I know we could be here for a while. You could be leaving your dog at the airport at the end of this. They put the kicking game going the way it's going, right? And then the crumbs, you know what I mean, breaking in a different way. Then the chaos to transition. I think what Scotland showed is if you go wide with real pace, so if you hit edge and then hit the following edge, you end up with all these mixed matches of, I know it wasn't ideal, but Ellis Genge covering the backfield, but that's what happens. And then there's reward for it. But there's where I think you need the second playmaker. That's what Scotland did brilliantly at the weekend. And I think, we said it to the lads, I think they exposed how you need to play against England.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, like the box kicking wrecks my head, but at the same time, it's more how long it takes to put up a box kick than actually the box kick itself, because I love the 50-50 battle, the contest in the air. It is kind of gladiatorial in a way when you see two lads going up and, you know, who's going to come back with the ball. And if the ball bounces on Ireland's side or England's side, the thing, and I just don't think Ireland I haven't seen it yet. I want to see what France do, what Scotland do. What England have the ability to do as well is that once that ball breaks, the crumbs, as you say, it's just zipped 2-3 passes, get to the danger men out on that channel where they can start to find mismatches. And it's transition play. That's exactly the way it's going. And like, I would love to see Ireland with a second playmaker. Maybe, listen, Jamie Osborne, I thought had a good game last weekend. Maybe the more confidence he gets, I think week one, considering he hadn't played a huge amount at 15, he was obviously just felt a little bit out of place. Last weekend, he felt that little bit more comfortable, and hopefully, because he is a player, can be a game breaker. He's a player that can create spaces for other people. So maybe this would be an opportunity again for him to build on that.
And 15 at international level is just full of unthanked work. This kind of covering the backfield, filling field. It's one of these ones, no one gives any credit. You mightn't have had a great day, but you took away all the options. So when they looked up, you covered it. So basically they were like, hopeful. No, it's all over because Osborne bust his tail. And
you cover so much ground.
Yeah, and look, I go on about Rob Kearney, man. That was it. I remember being so grateful for his communication of constantly filling rucks. So being really vocal, not to fold. And I know it seems small, but he's saving me 20 meters of a run. But he's saving me 20 meters 10 times. You know, that kind of by his brilliant chat. So,
but like, it would be my chat as well. Like, I would have definitely called those things. Like, stay, Donncha! Stay!
Tommy, are you going straight out after this? Or are you going to go home and get changed and then we're going out?
Okay, right. Vodafone are the main sponsors of Irish rugby, and we are delighted to have them on board with us here on the Offload.
Absolutely, Tommy. Vodafone have been right at the heart of Irish rugby for years, backing the team through some unbelievable highs.
It's all part of Team of Us, Vodafone's commitment to bringing players and supporters closer together than ever before.
And when you think about it, Tommy, Vodafone have been there for some of the biggest moments we've ever had. Championship success, historical tours, famous wins on the road, and memories that will last a lifetime.
Team of Us is about connection. One team, one fan base, all connected wherever you're watching from.
Vodafone, main sponsors of Irish rugby and proud partners of the Offload podcast. Question, back three. The battle of the back three, the wingers, that kick contest, you're brilliantly placed to tell us. How do you see that fair note?
Yeah, well, listen, I think with Freeman going from 13 to wing, I think it's a good call for England. And obviously Harry Arundel going on the wing, or Henry Arundel as well on the other wing. Real danger man, can light it up. So I think from that point of view for England, they have those danger men out wide. Ireland obviously have Balakoon, who's so dangerous with ball in hand. Can they get the ball to him in space though? Because listen, it took until 60th minute for him to actually get a bit of space, to find a bit of a mismatch, and we just see with the pace off the mark he has, that he has an ability to do things that no other Irish players can do. Yeah. And he's amazing. Like, people talk about Stuart McCluskey with his offload. Where do you see Balakoon's offloading? And he's always looking for the offload. So he'll make that break, look on the outside, try to go around the 15 and then look for the offload. So I just think he is a real opportunity if we can get that ball to him. And then James Lowe, just such a workhorse. He doesn't have the out-and-out speed that he might have once had and that the other wingers might have, but he is the game player that we need as well. He's another player, whenever the ball does fall into those scraps, he's the sort of player that loves to get the ball, take on players, try and find a 2-on-1, put somebody away. So it's going to be interesting, yeah.
I know they've a few injuries and stuff like that, but Arundel is kind of lucky in ways. Like, Steve Borthwick has kind of backed him a bit, hasn't he? In terms of, like, I know no one.
He's a great strike rate, man. He scores a lot of tries.
Yeah.
No, he does. He's a classy player. Like, he got 2 yellow cards last weekend and obviously didn't get a fine for it, but and didn't miss out any matches. But I think he's a different gravy if you get him in confidence. So
interesting
he doesn't have it.
Hear you saying that though. Like, that's the hardest part of the game, Tommy, isn't it? Finishing. Like, it really is. Yeah. I think there's value. That's why I couldn't believe, Penno being left out of the French team, because, in the end, they're the guys that will make the difference, the finishers, and he's certainly that. Can I ask you? Go on. I'm interested in on Freeman because you tried doing it as well. You played 13 every now and again and then went back out to the wing. How, if you like doing 2 weeks of it,
Listen, let's not worry about Freeman. He's all right. Yeah, like 13, like I think, sorry, yes, him getting to play 13, like I was reading a couple of the English meet. I haven't watched enough about it, right? But 13 is a position where defensively is the key. It's the hardest place in the whole pitch to defend.
Place on the pitch.
But I think the other thing that a 13 doesn't get much credit with, they are the key when it comes to the space out wide. Like they're the person who, like, so I saw Freeman a bit and he's an unbelievable runner, really dangerous. And there was a few times he tucked and went himself. Yeah. And I just think as a 13, like your real danger men, Arundel, for instance, you know, or like your Faye Waboso, like on the outside, like those get the ball in their hands. Like, and, you know, and there was times that I think he could have given a 2-on-1 or created a bit of a 3-on-2 and he just, and like, listen, that's the difference between 13 at club level and then going up to international level. It's a completely different game. And, you know, I played 13 a lot for the Ospreys when I was over there and I felt I played well at it. But you know, I never got picked to play it in Ireland. And, you know, I felt a bit hard done by that. But at the same time, maybe the coach was right. Maybe, listen, doing it at club level is one thing, but trying to do it at international just doesn't work. Listen, I want, because I know you need to hit the road, so go on.
Just a small thing. I love that you were odd about that because they were picking Brian O'Driscoll. You know what I mean? Do you genuinely in your head...
They kept picking Earlsey. Earlsey kept getting picked, or Jared Payne, or
I'd fucking pick Earlsey every day of the week over you at 30.
Earlsey.
Tommy, you're a great winger, man.
Yeah, but the problem was I was the fucking winger outside Earlsey. He wouldn't pass to me either.
Listen,
right.
Tommy, you were good at two things: playing on the wing and organising the social committee. And you were brilliant at both of them, fella. Honestly,
right.
you were a Grand Slam champion.
Johnny Sexton, Jack Crowley's in, right?
Yes.
Johnny Sexton has talked about, we've learned enough over the last number of World Cup cycles where we've only gone into it one out half and tight head, where now we've realised that we need to change this. I don't understand this, right? Is that same. Like in the fact that, okay, so we're giving Jack a go this weekend, not because we've kind of had to, because we've ruined poor Sam's confidence. And also I kind of think if you've learnt that not going into a World Cup with only one out half is a bad thing to do, well, they're going into a World Cup with one scrum half. Do you mean? Like, they're given no opportunity to Craig Casey, really, you know, and listen, it might not have gone great for him last weekend, but who's number 3 behind Craig Casey? Yeah. Do you mean? Like, if Gibson Park first week of the World Cup goes down injured, like, what the fuck are we doing then?
So Conor Murray's in the stand and we're there like this. More, would you do 20 minutes for us?
I was just listening to this going, what? So I'm puzzled by that. But anyway, right.
Brilliant.
Right, Jack Crowley
so
is
we're
in.
Calling him out. Johnny, stop chatting shite, man. You
well,
know what I mean?
I just was surprised that wasn't kind of... Do you know the way, like, is it Carl Pilkington? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He was like... he did that show with Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, whatever else. And he said, like, if he had one superpower, he'd love to be called Bullshit Man, right? And like he could hear someone like doing a press conference or somebody, you know, coming in and explaining to their wife why they're heading off on another golf trip, and he'd like burst through the window with like a cape and all, and he'd just go and go, bullshit.
Love it.
I think somebody should have called bullshit
on Johnny there. Brilliant.
Right, Jack Crowley is in, right? And I was reading Conor Murray's done an article about this at the minute. It's actually really interesting. And he said, like, fucking fair credit to Jack, right? Because this guy's been through the ringer. You think about, he was part of the Rugby World Cup, obviously over in France. Rugby World Cup quarter-final, Johnny Sexton. Johnny was, you would have to say, was probably out on his feet towards the end of that game, and they didn't take him off, and poor Jack had to sit and watch on for that quarter-final. And how heartbreaking that must have been. Of course, Johnny hung up his boots, and the following Six Nations, Ireland go on, win the Six Nations as Jack is out half, and then he gets dropped and have to sit on the sideline. And kind of what Conor was quite interested in saying is that, like, you can't really sulk. You can't really go knocking on the coach's door and ask, like, what the hell's going on. You can't really kind of throw a bit of a strop. You just have to, because that's kind of seen as being a bad team player nowadays. So you just have to kind of row in and support the person who's got the jersey. And like he was kind of saying like, you know, I know I've been in that boat and I feel for you, and like he was kind of just wishing them all the best this weekend because he's had a rough enough ride.
Agreed. And look, that's what I think is quite beautiful about rugby. In the end, it will reveal your true character. And if you're a whinge and a moan and someone that looks for excuses, you've every reason in that moment for Jack to throw the toys out. The environment, like you said, doesn't allow you sulk and sap the balloon. But you know it as well. With performance, you can just be a beat off it. You can be at 80. You know what I mean? Because you're hiding behind the fact of, or just trying to nearly use it as an excuse. And I must say I've been incredibly impressed by him because he's still quite young. I know we compare him in the same vein as Jack, but he is a young man, especially at 10. But just how he's conducted himself, you would be very proud of him. If I was his parents, man, I'd be beaming because he stayed true. He didn't, you know, throw the toys out of the pram. He didn't he didn't cop out, you know, and it just shows if you stay in it, it comes right. A bit like Frawley as well. And Tommy, that's what I love, man. And we were on about it. You truly get celebrated as an international player after you've been dropped because you got to fight, man. And that's what he's done the whole time. So, yeah, incredibly, whatever about rugby talent and this weekend and the whole thing that's gone on, I love what he's about in terms of his values, his standards, his character. That good on you, Jack, for never dipping.
Oh well, listen, I hope it goes well for him. I hope, like, I really do. And I think that with the pack that Andy Farrell has picked, I think he's given him the best opportunity. And with Gibson Park at 9,
just one on it though. Just on that, there's days you need to bring it, isn't there? You know what I mean? We've been there.
He does, yeah.
He like 100%. Everyone in the place, but there's sometimes, man, it's all on you, and it's on him this weekend. You know what I mean?
Like, you don't get many opportunities. Like, realistically, you don't get a huge pile of opportunities to really show who you are and show you've got it. Like, this is a big, it's a big one.
I remember one for me, Lille. We played in Lille against Stade Francais. I came on the year before and was absolutely horrendous. And I came on as a sub for Anthony Foley. And I remember Peter Clossy got sin-binned and I got taken off. And I remember actually the realization as I was sitting in the chair, I have 60 minutes here to right the wrongs of the past, but also make sure that, like, if this doesn't go well, I'm done. And personally, I know this sounds nuts, but I could nearly live with it too. You know what I mean? Like, it was nearly a moment for me to kind of go, do you know what? I'm not at that level. You know what I mean? I'm a good club player, but
I remember one time, like, I've heard Rob Carney talk about this. Remember the time, obviously, Ireland beat the All Blacks over in Chicago. Rob hadn't played much rugby at that stage, and Joe picked him to play 15, and he pulled him aside and said, "I need a big game." You know, he said, like, Carnes was like, "Geez, I was struggling with injury. I was already bricking myself, and I did not need that pressure on top of me." And I remember Joe Schmidt saying the same to me. It was at the start of the Six Nations. I was just coming back from injury. I probably wasn't playing, you know, at the level that I would have loved to go into that, but you get picked and you're like, I'm buzzing, I'm ready to show this is. And I remember, like, going out for the captain's run and Joe Schmidt pulling me aside and going, like, listen, I know you're a big game player. I know these are the games that bring out the best in you, but I need you to be on the money tomorrow. It's just like, but, like, you know, that bit of extra pressure, like, there's sometimes, you know, the heat is on you and you might not feel 100%, but you need to show up. And that's just about attitude, you know, and like, if things go wrong, you kind of just, you brush it off and you get back into the game. You don't feel sorry for yourself. And I just kind of think for a few players tomorrow, like, that's going to be just like, we need a big game for you guys tomorrow. And it doesn't come much more difficult than away from home in Twickenham. Because Connor again said that Twickenham was a place that intimidated him. You know, particularly when the bus drops you off and you get dropped off right in the middle of the English Blazer Brigade, you know, and you have to walk through all the Land Rovers and walk through the tunnel, and, like, they are there, chests out, you know, making you feel intimidated.
I love that that's the bit that upsets you, not the fact that you're going up against this gnarly English pack that seem to double in size when they play. Do you know what I always remember about Twickenham as well, man? It was like Middle Earth in terms of, well, probably not the British. it was freezing, wasn't it? The ground was always freezing. English lads always seemed bigger than they normally were. It's like they grew a foot playing there. I must say I did, and I go back to that game in 2012. You know what I mean, when we had rollerblades. But that it's an intimidating place, man.
Day.
Yeah,
that was a dark day, and exactly like that's the worry, because England are coming for a backlash. Ireland, you know, lots of confidence, lots of lions in that starting 15. But, you know, if the England pack get on top early doors, it can be a fairly daunting place.
But even the emotional buy-in, imagine Marrow's 100 cap, man. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just adding on, because we know we've been in the dressing room. Yeah. You can't verbalise how much you love and care about that fella, but you can only show it in your performance and how you play for him. I think those English lads will be hopping. Imagine your leader going out for his 100 cap a week after you've got handed your ass. Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's going to be a cracker. Right, you're going over to it. The atmosphere, yes. You're going to be on the good side. You're going to be up in the gravy train brigade. Ireland,
no, better boy, me and my Blazers. Tally-ho, lads, home. Did you leave the dogs in the airports?
Tweed? You'll have a bit of green, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely. I might even go an iron jumper. What about that?
England are 11-point favourites with the bookies.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think Ireland are going to win.
Same.
I said it to you a couple of weeks ago. I think they will beat France or England away. We definitely didn't beat France, so we have to beat England.
Brilliant. Great maths, Tommy. Well done, you. But no, I have a feeling too. I know this will come back to bite us in the arse, but do you know what? What about it? That's what we love. I just hope we get the reflection, man. I hope we get all the want and the everything that was missed, but you never doubt that with Farrell. I cannot wait for it.
Can't wait. Listen, have a great one, man. Enjoy this weekend. Looking forward to the match. Looking forward to all the rugby. I'm actually, it's my birthday on Sunday as well, so I'll be toasting that with a pint. There
Brilliant. Tommy, I'm actually heading away. Would you mind the dog for me, fella?
Drop him up to me, will you?
Yeah. I'm on the way.
Shadow. Fucking, will you tell him to stop barking?
He saw a red squirrel.
Go on, man. I'll chat to you soon.
See you in a while.